for me, it was probably around 2020, 2021, where, I just felt like I need to prioritize my family life over fitness. But at the same time, I just felt like if I completely give up training, then I wouldn't be well in the head.
Mm.
So that was for me like one step back. And then, of course, when my son was born, again, I had like a couple of months when I just didn't could take myself to the gym, train as hard. But once I realized that I need to do this in order for me to function well and to be well with myself, I just, that fire just got lit back up, and I've been going strong ever since then. So yeah, I feel like there's times in everybody's journey, even if we're speaking about fitness or life, where you have downs, but it's I think it's how you deal with that. I mean, how you get up from that low that you're in, that's defining you as a person. So yeah, that's when my low was during the pandemic, and when my kids were born. I feel like that's when I struggled the most with my fitness motivation. But right now, I can tell you that I turned my kids into my main motivation, and
Like a
I'm
purpose.
I'm training. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
training, and I'm trying to be a better version of myself every day, just for them. To be able to be there for them, to help
Mm.
them, to guide them through life, because obviously I would like them to adhere to the same lifestyle that I have, or I had as a kid growing up. And why not right now as an adult, doing
Yeah.
fitness.
Yeah. So, now that you mentioned the pandemic, so I remember during the pandemic or before the pandemic, I had just recovered. I think I had just recovered and I was trying to play again before the pandemic. But then when the pandemic hit, it was like everything came crashing, you know? And I think a lot of people, if not everyone, was affected in one way or
Yeah.
the other by the
Yeah.
pandemic.
That was
And
when also I crashed my car. You
yeah,
remember?
and
It's
so
crazy.
my follow up question was going to be how or what motivated you. But as you mentioned, your kids, and I would say congratulations, by the way,
Thank you.
because the last time we met, you were supposed to get married, and you remember you invited me, but I was
Yeah,
in Bucharest at the time, so I couldn't come.
yeah,
So a lot has happened along the way,
it
and
did.
so what then would you say to someone who is like maybe giving up, or who feels like they never will have time or maybe the energy to like do it or to get fit or to stay in shape?
Whew.
What would you say to them to motivate them? Like,
Like, first of all, everybody who thinks remotely about starting, to work out, or they need a motive to be in better shape, or they need something to drive them. And sadly, as you said prior, like, most of them decide to do something about it the moment they see that something's wrong. Like, they're like getting tired going up a flight of stairs, or uh, in my case, like, I do have a lot of friends who have kids right now, and they see that they cannot keep up with their kids, or they're not able to do stuff they used to be able to do. So my advice for people is to look in the mirror, and just analyze everything about their life, and just to see if they are content with what they can do right now physically, because you need, for you to be able to start something like this, a journey like this, you need to be able to see very objectively where you are right now. So if anybody wants to start working out and take care of their body and their health, they need to look in the mirror and ask themselves, am I content with where I am right now? And if the answer is not yes, then they need to start looking for solutions, and in my experience, if you are not well physically, starting to work out is definitely something that it's going to help you, and then the other aspects follow, the self-esteem, the endorphins, because obviously when you work out, after you work out, you do have like a great benefit in the endorphins that are released, and you have a better state of mind. As I told you, your mental clarity is better, and you can take on things that really seem like are impossible before you did that, and at the same time working out is making you uh being in a hard place and see that it's okay to be in a hard place, that you
Yeah.
can handle it. I mean, this is the thing that for me is the biggest motivation, that day in day out, you go out there, you work out, you take your body through very very rough stuff, and you're still there.
Yeah.
It's, if you do an analogy with life, like life will throw bad things at you, but if you're still there, and if you're still standing, that's proof that you can do it, and you can do harder stuff than life throws at you. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you feel like you're not motivated, just look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I content with what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
And I think 99% of the people who do this will see clearly what they need to do.
And like, so how do you maneuver with being a dad, a husband, and then trying to build your online audience again? How does that work? How do you maneuver with that?
It's hard, but you need to prioritize things in life, because I hear this all the time, I don't have time. But if you look at your daily schedule, like, you could see that maybe after you go home, you eat something, maybe you just lay around for like an hour browsing on your phone, or watching some Netflix series, or whatever.
Yeah.
Being a dad, and being a, like being a dad and balancing out the working out part is not easy. But I choose to work out when my kids are either at school, or not at school, at kindergarten, because they're small, or when they're sleeping. You know, I could sleep more, but I choose to go work out because I want to be healthy and strong for them. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of priorities. If you look at your daily schedule and you really organize it, I'm pretty sure that 99% of people would have that 1 hour a day
Yeah.
to go and work out, because that's all you need. Like, you only need an hour a day to
Okay.
do it.
Just before he's a dad as well, so he would have
Okay,
some questions.
congratulations, Sam.
Yeah, but just before he
Brother.
asks, like,
Plenty.
what's the one thing that fatherhood or being a father has taught you about strength and vulnerability? Being vulnerable, like, what's that one thing that
Whew.
fatherhood has taught you?
if I would be if I would to be poetic in this thing, I would say that my biggest strength is my biggest vulnerability as well. My kids,
Yeah.
like, they're the thing that drives me the most, but at the same time they're my weak spot. I feel like if something would happen to them, my whole world would come down. You know, but at the same time, I would be able to move the whole world for them. So
Yeah. Vice
that's
versa.
what fatherhood brings you.
Yeah.
It brings you a different perspective, and I feel like people should realize that having a child brings a big responsibility for you as a parent, to be more present, and you cannot be more present if you're not healthy. So I feel like everybody who has kids, should just like take a step back and look at how they would like to spend the rest of their lives, with their kids. Like, I want to live as much as I can, just for me to be able to support them and help them throughout their life as much as I can. But how am I going to do that if I'm weak, and if I'm getting sick, or I die? If you die early, your kids cannot enjoy you. So
Yeah.